This edition of Tru Heel Heat is brought to you by Warrior Wrestling. Check out Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series Night 3. This is the finale, the final show for Warrior Wrestling of 2020. It's going to feature Brian Pillman Jr. defending the Warrior Wrestling Championship against Trey Miguel of the Rascals. You can get it on Fight TV if you're not in the Chicago area, but if you are, definitely get your tickets right now. Without further ado, this is Tru Heel Heat. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. Welcome to Tru Heel Heat 93. The road to 100 continues. On this edition of Tru Heel Heat, we will be discussing the latest wrestling news, including multiple AEW wrestlers testing positive for COVID-19. And the latest outbreak in WWE, this time over at the PC involving NXT talent. We will be also discussing for week 47 of the Wednesday Night War with WWE NXT and AEW Dynamite. A lot of changes going on to both shows due to what happened with the virus. Preview for next week in the G1 Climax 30, Night 3 of Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series, and WWE Clash of Champions this coming Sunday. I am back once again with the beautiful, the lovely, the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love.
Hello. Yes, loving that shirt, girl.
She's got her hair did. I don't know. I think between her and Hiroshi Tanahashi, the best hair I saw today.
Wow. He did have some nice hair, though. I was like, wow, look at this dude's hair.
You look like you're going out on a hot date. He looked like an auntie on Easter Sunday.
I mean, hey, listen. I can't with you on that analysis, okay?
So after 2 weeks away across the pond, we gotta first of all wish him a very, very happy belated birthday. He is the president of the Titan Nation, the Tru Heel resident alcoholic himself, Top Guy JJ.
Yes. It's great to be back. It is great to be back. I did miss you guys a lot, but I do not miss I will be glad to say that those 2 weeks away were amazing. And I kind of need to get this off my chest a little bit before you finish your final introduction. And we promise, Justin, you can get your proper due. But this wanton endangerment charge, I don't get the system. I don't get the system. And I can't start talking about wrestling until we acknowledge what happened to the lack of justice with Breonna Taylor. Like, what is going on with society right now? Like, we waited 194 days. 194 days to get a wanton endangerment charge. Not murder, which is what it was. A wanton endangerment charge. Acknowledge your mistakes, America, and take the blame and actually be accountable for what you guys have done.
Yep.
It's all facts right there, sir. Definitely, we're going to have a hashtag justice for Breonna Taylor on this episode of Tru Heel Heat. Thank you for getting that off your chest before we get into anything. But we have a very, very, very special guest with us once again. His second time on Tru Heel Heat. This man is multi-talented and a vast vault of knowledge in the wrestling world. He is the host of Lockdown Sessions over on the 1K subscribers on Wrestling Channel's YouTube channel. This man worked very, very hard to reach that plateau. He is one of the hardest working men in wrestling YouTube, in my opinion. The one, the only, the Clap Man, Justin Clapper.
Oh, what an introduction. I kept looking behind me to see who you're actually having on. I'm like, this guy sounds great. I'd like to meet him.
Popping that cork to that 1K, my friend.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Hey, it's a pleasure to be back. And just off the heels of what you're saying, JJ, it's the world we're living in right now. Just sometimes I don't know if it's real or not, and it's just an unfortunate. And the sad part is when they announce 24 hours or 2 days ahead of time, hey, we're gonna batten down the hatches and barricade the town up in preparations for this. It's like, what in the shit is going on? So man, it's crazy all over the place, and it's unfortunate, and I don't know when are we ever gonna get things right? I mean,
the system is broken. It was built broken. It's been broken, and we're only talking about one of the three that was involved. So the other two might just get off. So it's just got to let that sink in, man. Like that, it's just what the hell is going on here?
It's a broken system, and it's a very sad time in our country when we have to deal with stuff like this. But we have to use this platform to address these things, ladies and gentlemen. But for you, our viewers, our subscribers of Tru Heel Heat, we want to bring you away from that and give you some entertainment for the next hour or so. Justin, though, you join us once again from the good friends, the good brothers over at Wrestling Travel across the pond. But tell them a little bit about the Wrestling Travel YouTube channel and Lockdown Sessions, please.
Awesome. Well, Wrestling Travel, as hopefully more people are getting to know, we bring wrestling fans from around the world to their favorite wrestling events. The last one we were able to do was over in Tokyo at Wrestle Kingdom, and I know we're going to talk a little New Japan later on. But when you book on with Wrestling Travel, we get you tickets to the events, you get your hotels, all of our special events. And the coolest thing that we do is you're not going to pay one low price. We're going to split it up. You got a down payment, monthly payments. Since we've had the pandemic, what I've done is taken over our YouTube channel for something I call the Lockdown Sessions, and originally started just to go, hey, what can I do for the guys and gals that all of a sudden, hey, we can't perform. I've done interviews, allowed them to plug themselves, their brand, their merch. Really, really proud of the work on Lockdown Sessions. We've had some fantastic guests. We continue to get awesome guests, and the coolest thing is if you get over to our YouTube channel, you're going to see names like Nikita Koloff, you're going to see the Blue Meanie, you're going to see Tyson Dukes, but now you're also going to see guys like Garrison Creed, Vince Valor. Who are these? Some of those are the best ones. You might not know who they are yet. Joe Gacy, Anthony Green, and Kurt Stallion are three people that I can name off the top of my head right now that they're no longer going to be able to do an interview like the Lockdown Sessions because they are now signed to NXT. So we got a lot of hidden gems over there. So please give us a look. I could always use a couple thumbs up on those pages, get our watch hours up. And if you don't like it, man, give me a thumbs down, put a comment on there, tell me what I could do better. But I tell you what, watch my very first one with Alicia Atut, and then watch one of my later ones, and I've really gotten rid of the ums and ahs in there. I've improved my journalistic integrity. I'm still looking stuff up on Wikipedia. Let's not get crazy, but at least I'm controlling what I say. So thank you very much for having me back on. I love you guys. That's actually how we met, is through the Lockdown Sessions. You guys actually gave us a good compliment on there, and I said, I got to talk to these guys, and I've been fans ever since. And I'm a big fan in wrestling of one hand helps the other, and I'm hoping to get you guys up. I'm going to pull you up to 1,000 with us, and everything we do from here on out. I don't see why Wrestling Travel and Tru Heel Heat aren't just, we're brothers. We're side by sides and sisters. We're like this, guys, and I'm very, very honored to be here.
Absolutely, and we are honored to have you back on Tru Heel Heat, sir. You are doing great work, not only current signees to WWE, but former WWE talent like the artist formerly known as Santino Marella, Eric Rowan. This man is doing a lot of great work over there on Wrestling Travel YouTube channel. So give him a thumbs up, share the videos, comment underneath the videos, and for this Tru Heel Heat 93, give us a thumbs up, comment down below, talk about the ongoing topics. We got our live chat for the premiere. You can chat about anything that we're talking, as well as the G1 we'll talk about later at Clash of Champions. First of all, our first thing that we have to say is that this Tru Heel Heat is brought to you by Wrestling Travel and Tru Heel Heat's friends over at Warrior Wrestling. Their Stadium Series Night 3 this Saturday, September 26th, is going to be featuring Brian Pillman Jr. versus Trey Miguel for the Warrior Wrestling Championship. So you can check that out on Fight TV.
They got 3 nights of wrestling.
Yes, this is the final night. It was 3 straight Saturdays. Justin has been there live in Chicago. We will talk about some of the matches on that card when we end the show with our preview for this coming week. But we have to start off before we get to our roll call with some sad news. Another bit of sad news before we cheer you guys back up. And we had a loss in the wrestling community, a very big loss, a shock, honestly, to the wrestling system. As I talked about on Tru Heel Heat in the past, I started working with Sportskeeda as a writer, an individual that just became a contributor to Sportskeeda, who was doing the reviews for Monday Night Raw, a WWE Hall of Famer, and a part of one of the greatest tag teams in history. Road Warrior Animal has passed away this past Wednesday. Came as a shock, very young age, 60 years young. This individual just celebrated the anniversary with him and his wife, and just out of nowhere just passed away on Wednesday. Road Warrior Animal was a part of the Road Warriors, aka the Legion of Doom, former champions in the NWA over in Japan, the WWF, all over the place. This is the biggest drawing tag team in wrestling history is the Road Warriors, and they are reunited again in heaven. Our thoughts and prayers to Road Warrior Animal, Joe Laurinaitis' wife, and his family, his son, everyone, all the friends and family for them. Our thoughts and prayers is out to them. Before we get into our roll call, do you guys have any memories of the Road Warriors you'd like to mention? I want to start with you, Justin. I know you were actually acquaintances with Road Warrior Animal, getting to meet him. What's the thought that came across your mind when you found out?
I woke up very early, unusually early, and saw that and thought, well, certainly somebody's playing a joke or somebody, an internet troll. But unfortunately, as the time passed, I found out that it was true. The Road Warriors, the very first tag team, and I mentioned this on our podcast that we had you on earlier. When I first saw the Road Warriors, I'm much older than all of you, but they actually scared me. I was like, oh man, because I thought, man, these guys are beating the heck that Doomsday Device, and they had that Stan Hansen just attitude and nasty. I was scared of them, and I was scared for wrestlers that had to go in there. But most recently in December was at a seminar with Road Warrior Animal. Every time I did see him, he was very gracious of his time. Always wanted to talk wrestling. Like, listen, I'll talk anything you want. I know he was at that time. We were talking about AEW, and he was a little critical on the officials there, going, I hope they tighten it up. He was always loving the fact that the boys and girls had another place to work, so he's hoping that maybe AEW would reach out to him and he could talk about their tag division. I mentioned another wrestler on the podcast who's with AEW and had recently appeared on an independent show and was a little big for his britches. I don't mind to say it was Luchasaurus. And Road Warrior Animal just said, hey, listen, I'm in every damn Hall of Fame that they've ever built. And I don't act like that. If anybody could act like that, it would be me. And there's no reason for him to act like that. So he was a class act through and through. It's I said it's unfortunate at these times that this is when people all of a sudden realize and go, hey, I don't think with the Road Warriors, I think we all realized even before this happened how great they were. But like I said, the one thing that's coming through all this is all of the great memories of Joe, and a lot of clips are surfacing, a lot of pictures that I've never seen before. So rest in peace. I mean, he was just barely 60. He turned 60 on September 12th. So
Damn.
sorely,
Yeah.
sorely going to be missed. So
Krssi Love, your earliest memory of the Road Warriors or Legion of Doom?
My earliest memory or fondest thing about them, I don't know if you guys had like the wrestling, like the buddies. I'm giving my age now, and I was fortunate to have the Road Warriors, and I had Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, and it was me and my brothers, and we would use them, and we would have them in.
You had the wrestling buddies?
Yes.
Look, we all around the same age, boo boo. I mean,
Exactly.
So I had the wrestling buddies, and I just remember was so excited. I got it like for Christmas, and me and my brothers were. And mind you, I'm the oldest, but they were much younger than me. But I would make them play with me, like if they were like dolls, and we would like have like pretend tag matches with them. And I remember seeing them at SummerSlam, and then seeing them ride their motorcycles in '92. And I just thought it was like one of like the coolest things ever. I was like wrestlers, like they get to ride motorcycles. I was like, I want to do all of that as like a kid, it's just like and like awe. So that's one of my fondest memories of them, and like just being one of the greatest tag teams in history. To be honest, one of them. It just sucks that 2020 has been a hell of a damn year, and just he just made his birthday, and he just to pass away out of nowhere. It's just really sad, and my prayers go to his family, and just it's just really sad. But that's my memory of like Legion of Doom.
Yeah. I know we said a lot about them on our Dark Side of the Ring
Yes.
review, talking about the last of the Road Warriors. I know you JJ are a big fan of them. Your earliest memory of the Legion of Doom Road Warriors?
Man, I'll just tell you, basically, I'll tell you what made me become like a mark for them. And this was right on your side of the world, Justin. That SummerSlam motorcycle entrance, when they came out, I was like, oh my God, I want to be them. Oh my God. They look like the best things ever. When they came out on the motorcycles, because those entrances did not happen at that time.
Right.
They came out blazing because they had that long aisle because they was at Wembley and they had that long right. Ooh, it was like that shit gave me chills. And then actually having a chance to meet him and talk to him, and I actually had like a funny question to ask him when they made their return in WrestleMania 14. I was like, dude, why the hell did y'all wear these outfits that took you like 20 years to take off? It's like, yo, he was like, yeah, I don't know why we picked those outfits because it took longer for us to take those off than to have the match. Like he was just so approachable with everything, and he was literally through and through with wrestling. As Justin said, he was literally a wrestling savant. Like he was known and respected by everyone that came around him. You literally talked to him for 30. He had no time, but he made time to talk to anybody that approached him. So literally, if he's walking down the hallway, you can count 1 minute, and you will see how many people speaks to him in that 1 minute. It will be at least 10. And he literally, even if it's a sentence or two, if it's something, he gets something to you. And he was that. And you don't get that with many legends, especially legends like that, people that was that big in the industry. He was just so damn humble. He was such a regular guy. And following him for over 25 years, it was like, is this normal?
Right.
This is I would think you would be an asshole or something like that. You're too good for us, but he was just so normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was one of the dudes that I met that I didn't even want to take any photos with. I just wanted to enjoy my conversations with. So just enjoying kicking it with him and like, yo, why Sonny? Like, why you came out with Sonny? Like for what? Why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm used to Paul Ellering and all these, and you come out with this chick. Like, So it was just more of just kicking bullshit and just talking regular and just talking wrestling. He was such a damn good dude, man, and Hawk is finally gonna get some sense slapped into him because he's probably having more drinks than I am up in heaven right now. Probably acting a damn fool, and Animal is going up there to check him right now and going to take the damn tag titles right now.
Yes, indeed. Our thoughts and prayers to the family of Road Warrior Animal. Good drop right there by Justin with the DVD, the Road Warriors
Yes, the
DVD.
DVD, the
I was gonna say,
DVD,
I'm a
the
big fan of
classic.
physical media because stuff comes and goes off all the streaming services. But I'm just saying, this is what steady diet of this here this week for me. But if you can get this, I highly recommend it.
For sure. And also a RIP out to famous football player Gail Sayers as well. So a lot of loss this week, a lot of stuff going on. But we are here to entertain you, the viewers of Tru Heel Heat, the listeners, our subscribers. We want to shout all of you guys out on our Tru Heel roll call. This is where we shout out everyone who's supporting the Tru Heel Heat movement, whether that be on social media, YouTube, any of the podcast platforms. Our Tru Heel Trinity, our conversation starters top 3 from our Facebook group page. Coming in at number 3 is Charles Kirchhoff. Coming in at number 2 is the New Japan aficionado James Wims. And coming in at number 1 is the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. True heels that we got
Consistency, boy, consistency.
He's the Goldberg. He's the WCW Nitro. The consistency. He's about to get his jersey in the Raptors with Steve and Romeo.
Hopefully
I thought being gone for a couple weeks, he might get some competition, but I guess that didn't change.
No. True Hills, we got to shout out David Campbell, Antoine Rutledge, Jordan Dakota, Ryan, and Jason Goodman. Our subscriber highlight, Kwame Shafir, commented on Tru Heel Heat 92. That parking lot brawl was the first mainstream wrestling match on YouTube I have seen in several months. That match, definitely one of the best matches of 2020, was absolutely phenomenal because the wrestling, selling, tag team chemistry, and creativity was definitely off the chain. This match was much better than the underwhelming backlot brawl cinematic match from a few months ago. Let's be honest, you won't see that type of match very much on the creatively restrictive WWE main roster nowadays. Also on Tru Heel Heat 92.
Wait, you said Antoine Rutledge? That's one of the OGs to the Tru Heels, yo.
Yes,
he was around
he
from
is.
The beginning.
He is. That's the good brother. I think he's over in Georgia, originally from the BX. But yes, we had to shout him out. He's commented on the group page. One of our other subscriber highlights, Dylan Atloff. He says on Tru Heel Heat 92, great video. I'm a huge old school Kane fan, so I love this discussion, guys. Over on Wednesday Night Warrior 16, Pelu 101 says Romeo would sing along Chris Jericho's song if he was in attendance. He strikes me as a karaoke guy. LOL. Romeo was very hard on the fans singing along to Judas, so I guess that's a little clapback from our comment section about that. And True Rewind. Yes, you know Romeo.
That's just Romeo trying to. That's just bad troll work because his ass would be singing with them.
Pretty much. And True Rewind 21, our king of the comment section, Kayfabe Tactics, says, "Oh my god, you guys are cracking me up today. Sean isn't a drug dealer, he's a drug addict." That was one of my quotes, actually. The whole segment about dunking on Ahmed Johnson as well. You three are such a great listen. So check out True Rewind 21, where we talk about the go home show for I think it's In Your House Seasons Beatings from WWF Raw as well as WCW Nitro, and that takes us into what we missed. Of course, we had week 1 opening weekend for the G1 Climax. We had nights. Nope.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I just ignored a call. Sorry. Damn.
No worries. What we missed was the opening week for G1 Climax 30 nights 1 through 4. On night 1, we had Suzuki versus Ishii in a matchup where these two men beat the crap out of each other. One man being 52 years old, the other being 44 years old, and they just beat each other like they stole something. It was like a grandpa and an older father fighting at a wedding, from a couple of comments that I saw on Twitter. We also saw Ibushi defeat Okada in two. This was two really great matches to start off night 1. I know our resident G1 Climax I don't know what you want to call your your relationship with the G1 Climax and why you think it sounds like a porno, Krssi Love. But you for the first time since you've been on Tru Heel Heat, you have decided to watch the G1 Climax. What did you think of night 1?
Night 1 was so see what happened. I watched it all in Japanese. I know that you can watch it with the English commentators.
It's better in Japanese. As I explained this to Justin on Wrestling Travel, the Japanese commentary has the enthusiasm and the energy.
Right. So I watched the first night in whole Japanese, and then I watched the second night in full English, and I was like, these guys sound so boring. Like, what is like? I don't understand anything the other guys were saying, but they kept me in tune with what was happening. So I felt like night 2 was just like a drag, because I was like, oh my God, they're just so boring. Oh my goodness. But I was just so surprised at the Okada match. I was like, who did we pick?
I think you and Romeo picked Okada. I went with Ibushi.
And you, see, I got to copy you, because you always be getting them right. But I enjoyed it. I'm going to have to watch the next night in full Japanese. I'm not going to understand crap they're saying, but I understand, but I get the energy from it. So, they have very interesting costumes. Some of them are very, very good looking. I put names to faces now. Yeah. Like I said, Juice. I was like, that's what Juice looks like? Okay. So it was very interesting.
Drew's dressed like a Blues Brother meets Freddie Mercury. His new look.
Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah.
But
they get the hair. All of the hair is all over there anyway, so they get the good hair anyway. So.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you're getting into the G1 swing of things. Over on night 2, we had Zack Sabre Jr. upset Evil and that was one I wasn't really expecting, me myself included, as well as Naito defeating Tanahashi in an absolute classic match of the year candidate on night 2. Tanahashi was back in rare form. This man is one of the greatest professional wrestlers in history, and he showed off once again. Taiishi gets an upset over Suzuki on night 3, as well as Ishii and Ospreay in an absolute banger. We also had Jay White defeat Ibushi to go 2-0 on night 3, as he calls it. It's not the G1, it's the J1 from the mouth of Switchblade. And Switchblade, I have to say, you guys should just go out and watch this matchup on night 3 for Jay White being the consummate heel, because the fans are not allowed to chant at the G1 because of the pandemic. He started off the match by going outside the ring and saying, why are you guys saying chanting? Ibushi, go ahead. Oh yeah, I can say it, you can't. I love Jay White. Jay White is awesome.
He's like a younger version of Bane. After that plays Bane, I can't remember his name right now. But you know
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. He looks like Tom Hardy with the beard, like just everything.
I'm pretty sure when we get to Monday Night Raw, that won't be the last reference to Bane. But also on Thursday,
no reference for Bane either. It's an insult. But anyway.
On Thursday, we saw in the main event Naito defeat ZSJ in a technical wrestling clinic, and that was the first week from the G1 Climax 30. You can check out J News Japan, where he gives you in-depth analysis and review for all the nights of the G1 30. Over on Saturday, we had Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series Night 2 with Brian Pillman Jr. versus Warhorse. Brian Pillman successfully defending the Warrior Wrestling Championship, as well as Trey McGuire Miguel wins the triple threat Battle of the Rascals to become the #1 contender for the Warrior Wrestling title to set up the championship match on night 3. Justin, you were there live in Chicago at the big stadium. What was your match of the night for Warrior Wrestling night 2 of the Stadium Series?
It was completely going. It just kept getting better, and I'm not just saying that because we love those guys, but it was definitely going to be Rascal versus Rascal versus Rascal. And then I thought we were going to have a drop off with Warhorse and Pillman, and we had anything but that match. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch it yet. That was inside the ring, outside the ring. Everybody just bringing it to Warrior Wrestling. So it's kind of a toss-up there. And immediately following, Pillman didn't even have a chance to hold the belt up, and Trey Miguel is in his face getting us ready for this week, where, again, I don't know what match I'm looking forward to the most. The North, we forgot to talk about them earlier. The North are going to be there. One of my favorite tag teams of all time. I saw them. We sponsored Bound for Glory with Impact last year in Chicago. And watching those guys go off, I'm like, where have I been? There are so many people that I don't call it I sleep on, but I just don't realize, including, and I'm going to step away from this last one because he wasn't there, but Benjamin Carter from night 1, if you get a chance to watch Benjamin Carter versus Brian Cage, Benjamin Carter jumping in there and filling in for Alex Zane, an absolute freaking war. So what the coolest thing, we talked about this earlier, guys, Warrior Wrestling, you got to order this stuff on Fight TV. If you're close, you got to go to independent organizations like this, because I've known about Benjamin Carter and plenty of these other guys quite a number of days and weeks ahead of the mainstream. So you're getting a chance to see guys that are going to be, look at Benjamin Carter blowing up on that big stage. Now, Sid, you got to watch Ben Carter this past Wednesday, and you also got to watch that match with Brian Cage. I mean, apples to apples right there. I mean, that was an absolute freaking war with Cage.
He has to be the hottest independent wrestler right now. We're going to definitely talk about AEW Late Night Dynamite and what we miss. But before we get to that, we gotta make a stop in the WWE. I'm sorry, guys. On Friday.
Where's my drink? Where's my drink? Where is my fucking drink?
On
I
Friday
need to
nights,
refill this shit right now.
We're gonna get to the good one first. On Friday Night SmackDown,
I gotta refill my Terry Mana right now. Because...
On Friday Night SmackDown, Roman Reigns and Jay Uso. Jay Uso defeat Sheamus and King Corbin in a Samoan street fight. We also see
Samoan street fight. It was not a Samoan street fight. It was just a regular street fight.
Well, there were Samoans in it. There were Samoans in it.
Whatever.
We also saw a great video package talking about the history of the Anoa'i family and their past with Paul Heyman. We also saw AJ Styles and Sami Zayn in a very fun sprint. And then Jeff Hardy sets up a ladder match for the IC titles for Clash of Champions. And Bayley attacks Sasha Banks after her return promo, talking about Bayley turning on her. Krssi Love, we want to say thank you and congrats for the return of SmackDown with the Lynches. I know it's a lot for you being a mother of two sons. You're beautiful, smart boys, and you have to really like squeeze the oranges. It seems like.
Yeah. As you see, I'm like, hello, let me give you.
I love the blue collar look. I love
the cohesiveness with the Otis
yes.
shirts. This was appropriate return.
It was appropriate for him getting his whole getting served papers. I was like, there's no question, but that we had to wear our t-shirts and for him. So, but yeah, I had to did we not just watch this whole thing for 2 hours, and now I'm trying to record this thing and you guys are not giving me anything?
So what's been your thoughts on the Roman Reigns Jey Uso build up for Clash of Champions, especially that great video package talking about the Anoa'i family?
First of all, if if this is all Paul Heyman's baby, bravo. Fucking Bo, because that package right there, we haven't had packages like that in a long time. And then his voiceover on it, perfection. I'm loving this build, and I love the looks between Roman Reigns and Jay. I think it's perfect. And then the whole ending of the match, like Roman Reigns could have swore that he was going to finish the match, but no, Jay came and finished it off for him. Was like, yeah, mad excited. So I am super excited to see what will happen at Clash of Champions with this whole match. But yes, the build up is good. I think that they're fighting too soon, but hey, what do I know?
I mean, Jey Uso is not the type of guy that anyone's gonna think is gonna beat Roman. So this is a great start for this new character of the Big Dog. Over on Monday Night Raw, I'm just gonna flat out say it was one of the worst episodes of 2020 as we saw Retribution being signed to WWE contracts and revealing some of their names, which
Pick me, please.
I'm just gonna go through everything first here.
Okay.
Some of their names. So the names are T-Bar, Mace, and Slapjack. We also saw their in-ring debut in the main event versus Hurt Business. WrestleVotes reports that that talent backstage thought the names were hilarious and are giving these new stars an uphill battle. Top Guy JJ, you've been away for 2 weeks. What was your response to the names and the in-ring debut of Retribution?
I'm gonna let Krssi go with this one because Krissi's very anxious, just as I am. So Krssi, start it off, and I promise I will finish this.
Okay, so this is the creative team, right? So we're here, we're at the round table. Okay, let's get a group, right? And we're gonna put them all in face masks, because it's a whole pandemic and everything. We're gonna put them in whole ski masks. We're gonna put them all in black, right? And then we're gonna have them just come and fuck shit up because they are upset of how shit is ran, right? And they don't have any contracts, and they're so upset, and they just want to fuck it up because they don't like anything that they're doing. But then we rewind. Like, how many weeks ago did we see them? Maybe it's like 5 weeks now we've seen them. Okay.
No, it's been since before SummerSlam.
It's almost 2 months.
Yeah.
Almost, okay. So fast forward is like 8.5 weeks. Sure, whatever. Anywho, so now we fast forward to Monday Night Raw, and then we see these people in these half Bane insulted masks, and then you're like, we kind of knew who they were, but then they say they get contracts. How are we giving contracts to people that didn't want any contracts in the first place, and they wanted to fuck shit up anyway? What was the whole point of you saying that you didn't like how they ran things, but then you signed contracts to be ran by these people that you said you didn't ran before? I don't get it. After that whole segment, I checked out the whole show. I didn't even watch it. I didn't care. I didn't want to see it. I was just annoyed by the whole thing. They have half masks and they went against the Hurt Business. Retarded. Go ahead, Justin. JJ.
Well, no, let's get it over to our special guest. We love to ask our
guests
what's their judge on Retribution.
Everybody's got a smile on their face to this episode.
Justin, you weren't able to touch on it on Wrestling Travel podcast. I know you have the past episodes, but what are your thoughts on Retribution's in-ring debut and their outrageously corny names?
I have been against this since the beginning. We've run I'm like, all right, well, they're gonna do this again. Wrestling we always end up rehashing, but this shit went on. It's been going on forever. And now we got freaking T-Bar, Jackhammer, Skidmark, JJ Fubar. I don't even know what the hell is going on, and it's absurd. I want to believe a little bit in my entertainment, my wrestling. I want to suspend my disbelief. Exactly what Krissi's saying. Well, it's just, I hate to see it. I hate to go. I say it every week when I talk about this. I hate to shit on the product anywhere, but here I am. Once again, you guys are making me do this. You are the ones doing this to me.
Justin, stop being nice. Stop being nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you because I can't wait to hear what you have to say, Fubar.
All right. So here you go, slap nuts. This is literally, I swear on everything I love. I try to think of all of the worst things that I've experienced in wrestling. I try to think about the Lashley sisters. I try to think about the bullshit This Is Your Life with the bad version of This Is Your Life. I try to think about the horrible swamp fight that I just saw this year. I try to think about all the bad shit that I've seen this year. And Retribution not only exceeds it, they have made this almost making Raw almost unwatchable.
Yep.
And mind you, Raw has some decent shit in the middle of it.
Yep.
But when Retribution has 5 fucking segments in a 3-hour show where I have to now follow Slapjack, T-Bar, and Mace, so now I'm following Bane, Katana, and one of the Jokers from fucking Dark Knight. So this is basically who I'm following. I'm following 3 cartoon characters, and then I'm following 2 chicks that don't even have names yet. The 2 women don't even have fucking names yet.
We got breaking news as well on that.
What's their name?
This is a company that is talking about greed and pain and suffering and what they want to do to the brand. They signed the contract, so y'all are taking the same money that the rest of the roster is taking, but the money you're taking is different from the money that everybody else is taking. But your money is different. Your money is pure. Their money is off greed. But you guys, I don't even know how you sell this. How do you sell this? How do you sell signing rebels to destroy your company? You signed them. You gave them videos. You gave them a fucking screen with a fucking logo now. They have an entrance theme. How is this possible? You have actually built a production set for a bunch of rebels that don't belong there, that's trying to fuck your company up, but you're upping up your production for them? Like, how is this working? How is this possible? Krssi, I see your hand is raised.
So does that mean that they don't work on NXT anymore?
No, they're signed to Monday Night Raw. They are working for Monday Night Raw to destroy Monday Night Raw, but they've been hired by Monday Night Raw.
Right. Go figure.
Like, what the fuck?
Cost the fuck.
So the breaking news that I have here is from WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes reported today that one of the names for one of the female talent, either Mercedes Martinez or Mia Yim,
either one,
was apparently scrapped before Monday Night Raw, but the name was going to be Shattered. Yes, Shattered. Just like our hopes in this shitty ass storyline, Shattered.
So was gonna be
the name, and apparently.
So one is gonna be Shattered and Scorned. That's gonna be their names.
Hey, you never know there. And apparently, T-Bar put a Bane like how does
Dijak not laugh after every single segment? How does he not start dying laughing after every segment?
I don't even think they want to do it, to be honest.
Hey, he's at least having fun with it. Let's
how do you not die laugh after that shit?
He's at least having fun with this. He says that you guys weren't made from the PC. He was born from it in a Bane like promo. So you gotta love how they're just playing into the complete corniness that is this storyline. But overall, Monday Night Raw, that wasn't the only bad thing. I mean, there was some good. We had Randy Orton returning to lay out Drew McIntyre ahead of Clash of Champions.
SP, help me here, because Randy Orton to me is the best thing in WWE right now, and then you have Retribution, that's the worst thing in WWE right now. How the fuck do I level this out?
Randy Orton isn't the best thing in WWE.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
Roman Reigns is the
Roman
best
Reigns is, yes, he is. But
Randy's been off TV for too long, so it's they
This
just
shit is
muddied
killing me.
the water. We also had Braun Strowman beat Dabba-Kato in
Oh
Raw
god. Oh
Underground. We
god.
had
Oh
Andrade and Garza, who broke up last week, become number one contenders a week later for the Raw Tag Team titles. And to top everything up, the cherry on top of this worst Raw of 2020, Seth Rollins brings back the Mysterio paternity test storyline from 2005. But Aaliyah is somehow the best actor throughout this whole storyline, and she shows dissension in the Mysterio family.
You know,
It was Monday Night
You know
Raw.
what? Props to Aaliyah because Aaliyah did a damn good job. Like Aaliyah played that shit out, yo. Aaliyah started crying. She started playing the night, yo. Props to Aaliyah. This is WWE shit, man. But props to Aaliyah because Aaliyah did the fucking work, man. Aaliyah did that shit.
Yeah, I said the only bright spots of Monday Night Raw was Randy Orton and Aaliyah Mysterio. I know the bar was low, but at least she was a highlight. Also, this week had ROH Pure Tournament. David Finlay beat his New Japan mentor, Rocky Romero, and Matt Sydal defeated Delirious in a rekindling of a classic ROH rivalry as they both move on in the tournament. NWA UWN Primetime Live had Thunder Rosa defeat Priscilla Kelly to successfully defend the NWA Women's title, as well as Eli Drake defeated Watts. And AEW had a show in the middle of the week after the NBA playoffs. AEW Late Night Dynamite on the same day as AEW Dark. We had Shawn Spears on Late Night Dynamite defeat Matt Sydal in his Dynamite debut. We had Anna Jay defeat Brandy Rose in a surprisingly pretty good match. And the match of the night was definitely the opener as Scorpio Sky defeated the aforementioned Benjamin Carter in an awesome TV match. We also on Dark had Ricky Starks defeat Christopher Daniels, Eddie Kingston defeat Brian Pillman Jr. in the main event, and once again, Ben Carter is showing out on AEW Dark as he and Lee Johnson have one of the best AEW Dark matches in its history. So Ben Carter with two back-to-back bangers on Dark and Late Night Dynamite. I know, Justin, you are a big fan of Ben Carter. What have you been thinking about the big buzz for him this week on AEW shows?
Just 1 second here. I want to just point out that if you're going to give Aaliyah Mysterio all that credit for crying at Raw, I've been crying since SummerSlam, since Retribution every week. So I want a little bit extra. But no, Ben Carter, out of the Black and Brave camp with Seth Rollins, getting it done. I'm so happy to see guys like that on the national stage. And that's one of the things that even though AEW, sometimes the storylines and some of the stuff rubs me the wrong way, but my hat is off to them for the AEW Dark. They're giving a lot of people during this pandemic time, a lot of people some airtime and getting some people over. So Ben Carter is a name to look out for. Now, best wishes to Ben, as he just announced today that obviously he's got he ended up testing positive for the coronavirus. So and everybody that's been testing positive that I see in the wrestling world has been, hey, I feel okay, but I was exposed and I got to take my time off. So I want that shine to still stay on him for these 2 weeks, and I know it will, especially if people watch that Brian Cage match. But look at they elevated Warhorse. They're elevating Ben Carter. I'm a huge fan of what they're doing with these guys.
So yeah, for sure, we want to send our thoughts and prayers to Ben Carter, who did reveal that he tested positive for the coronavirus, but definitely he had a lot of buzz, probably the best day of his career on Tuesday. I will say, watching that Brian Cage match from Stadium Series Night 1, my girl actually watched it with me, and she said that he reminded her of Brian Kendrick, Spanky, in a lot of ways, and I know the commentators were talking about how he reminded them of his trainers, Seth Rollins, as well as Paul London. So he's getting a lot of praise. I know Top Guy JJ, you were a big fan of his matchup on Late Night Dynamite.
For me to watch an episode of wrestling at midnight, because the NBA playoffs didn't end until midnight, and to catch that match and actually stay up for it I was not only impressed by both Ben Carter, and if you see the match, if you look on social media and you see all the comment section, the entire comment section literally says signed Ben Carter. Like so the love for Ben Carter was phenomenal, which I absolutely love, and I just hope that it's something that is remembered, because the match, that both props to him and Scorpio Sky, my God, from what I saw that night on the late night Dynamite episode, they put on a match. They put on a damn good match. And also for both him and for Scorpio Sky as well. Because Scorpio Sky hasn't had... Scorpio Sky puts on good matches. But it looks like he had put on some work in that match. Like, that match was phenomenal. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And we know what Scorpio Sky is capable of in the ring. But for him to go back and forth with Ben Carter like that, it was beautiful. And I had no idea who the hell Ben Carter was. I had no idea who he was. And I'm just watching this match like, who is this kid? Because he is making Scorpio work. Because this was awesome. Like, so I don't know Ben Carter. So when I saw that, that opened my eyes. So now I got to start going back and just starting to watch some more of his matches, because this kid was impressive. If he pulled that out of Scorpio, I got to see what he pulled out of the other athletes that he fought.
Yes, I would definitely suggest anyone to watch that matchup with Brian Cage from Stadium Series Night 1. Like Justin says, Warrior Wrestling push you on to these wrestlers before they break out on television like Ben Carter did. And then finally, what we miss, Impact Wrestling had Kylie Ray challenging Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts title at Bound for Glory. We had Eddie Kingston return to confront Eric Young, setting up a world title rematch at Victory Road on October 3rd. And Top Guy JJ's another favorite of his, Tenille Dashwood, made her return, and she defeated Jordan Grace in the main event on Impact Wrestling.
Hey!
That segues us to our top news. And speaking, we just talked about Ben Carter and what happened with him testing positive for the coronavirus. So we got to talk about AEW and WWE COVID-19 update. Number one contender for the AEW World title, Lance Archer, revealed on Twitter Wednesday afternoon that he tested positive for the coronavirus from a family member and would be off of AEW Dynamite this week. It was later revealed and confirmed with multiple sources from John Alba of Spectrum Sports 360 and Sean Rossap of Fightful Select that several individuals present at the September 9th AEW taping that Ben Carter was competed at have tested positive for the virus in the 2 weeks since. John Alba also tweeted, over the last few months, AEW has by far had the most extensive COVID-19 protocols among any wrestling companies that chose to run during the pandemic. The conditions of how or where the virus was transmitted is not entirely clear at this time, hoping everyone is okay. He also tweeted, and I quote, "It's entirely plausible talent were kept off this week's show for precautionary reasons and didn't necessarily test positive, but we can report that there were multiple positive cases in the past couple of weeks involving talent who were present at tapings earlier this month." Alba and Sapp also indicated that it is unknown if the tests were conducted together or separate, and multiple talents were left off of this week's tapings if they tested positive or were ill and showing symptoms. Brian Cage is among those in a since deleted tweet confirmed that he was feeling sick. He said he was the best body guide, so it was kind of a weird flex in that tweet. That's probably why he deleted it. Also this week we had CMLL over in Mexico reported that 4 of their wrestlers, I know Ultimo Guerrero as well as Bandito, tested positive for the virus and would lead to changes to their anniversary show, which is coming up. And this news follows another story where WWE had another huge outbreak of the virus, this time at the Performance Center with NXT talent. Fightful Select and John Alba also reported on that one, saying that there were several positive tests the week of September 9th that resulted in significant changes changes to programming, with many recruits training at the temporary performance center testing positive for the virus. The test results led to several classes at the performance center being canceled, with some essential coaches apparently sticking around. And apparently there was a coach at the PC that was the person that kind of spread the virus to other people. The performance center mandates that masks be worn while outside of the ring, but not inside the ring or in the gym area. WWE was aware of the situation before last night's episode of NXT, so both WWE NXT and AEW Dynamite had very significant changes due to all of this news. What are your guys' thoughts on the virus finally hitting AEW and affecting their TV taping despite their protocol and precautions in place? We will start with you, Justin.
One of the things I want to say, a little bit of insider information, if you will, of my unnamed sources. I know that a lot of places, when they are testing for the coronavirus, some people are coming back with having the antibodies in their system and therefore are getting their ban right now. So I was unaware of that until a few weeks ago, that was the case, where some people have been, they didn't necessarily test positive, but having the antibodies has shown that they have had it in the past. And if that antibody level was at a certain either high or low, and I'm not with the CDC, so I don't know what it is, but that would determine whether or not they were kind of safe to go on or not. And the fact that a lot of, at least with Lance Archer saying, I was fully aware afterwards that I got it from somebody outside of the ring. I know places like Warrior Wrestling was the place that Tony Khan looked at and said, hey, we can have some fans in here, because Warrior Wrestling did it right and had socially distanced, wiping down the ropes and everything, and they're taking every precaution that we can. But quite obviously, when we get guys in the ring without putting their masks on, there is that potential to spread that, and hopefully that's not what's happening. But you look at people, and we're getting their opportunity just like anywhere else. We got to hope the testing is happening, and it is happening correctly, and it is erring on the side of caution, because what we don't want, especially my business, which is wrestling travel, I want to get fans back into the arenas. I want to sell packages. I want to meet up with you three at WrestleMania at someday. That we need to follow. Yeah, we need to follow these guidelines, and I hope to goodness that all of these, not just the WWE and AEW, but everything from an Outlaw show on the way up, is following these precautions. Because I had said it since April. I don't want some idiotic promoter to break the rules, and all of a sudden we've got a breakout stemming from a pro wrestling show, and now everybody goes, hey, pro wrestling shows are banned.
Right.
We've been doing it safely here in Wisconsin. They've been doing it safely at Warrior. They did it safely down at the Independent Wrestling Expo in Dallas. Mission Pro, Thunder Rosa, everybody's doing things as safely as we can. We all know that we can't keep... We don't know enough about the virus. And here I go, Sid. I'm talking with my hands again every time I'm on here. We still don't know enough about the virus to know where it's happening and stuff. I can't even turn on the news anymore because we got an outbreak. All my friends over in the UK, their cases are doubling every 8 days. So now they're going to go on a second lockdown. Over here in reading that places are opening up. Some either Memphis or Nashville. I read on Twitter, and I know you can't believe everything on the internet, but they opened up their bars and restaurants, and they were afraid to give their results out because hardly anybody contracted the virus. So just we talked at the beginning, what a fucking screwed up world we live in. I would just like to turn on the TV, and I'm hoping maybe after these elections, and I know this ain't going to happen, but maybe we can calm down and start going, hey, here's the truth. Here's what we all need to do. I need us to all come together, black, white, brown, green, Republican, Democrat, fat, skinny, beautiful like you guys, not attractive like me. We all need to get on the same page. So I know I went off on a tangent there, but I do know that there is something with the antibodies having them in that, hey, you obviously had it. So I mean, on certain levels, I know that they're taking it to that level. We need fans. We need to get there. And I'm not saying we need to rush it and get there now, but we need to be on the right path to getting it back where we have fans, not just in wrestling, but at the Titans games, at the Giants games, at the Green Bay Packer games. We all need to just follow and get there. And you know what? I need a damn mask that fits my fat head too, by the way. So if anybody wants to donate, let me know. Rant over.
It's tough on that. Krssi, I will go to you on this one. Do you think that anywhere in wrestling they should be running shows right now during this whole pandemic due to what's going on in the two top promotions in WWE and AEW?
I think it's possible. We can definitely get it done if you are doing the right thing. Checking people, testing your performers, testing your staff, making sure everything is happening everyone is wearing masks, making sure that everyone is safe. Because the whole thing is, when people are not safe, we're going to be locked down again, and then we don't want to.
To just say one thing, AEW is doing it safe. They are following all these CDC protocols. Even John Alba, in his report of it, says that AEW is doing it safer than most offices that are returning back to work. So they're doing everything they can to do those precautions. That's why I do want to preface this for anyone who's thinking of commenting while watching this right now. Oh, this is just like what Taz said. You guys are also running a sloppy shop. No. It's not the same thing as WWE. WWE didn't do tests for 3+ months. AEW is doing everything in their power to do this, and it still happened. So I do want to preface that.
It's something that it happened. It sucks because he got it from a family member. So I take my hat to them for doing everything the right way, because they didn't want things like this to happen. And it's so unfortunate that you gotta now watch yourself around the people that you go around. When even your own family now, because now you're gonna have to have all these other people tested that you were now around. And I think it can happen. They're showing it, they're proving it. So I mean, hopefully it'll, we keep our fingers crossed and it can happen.
I do have a question. With this, since we know that this is we know that this is partially airborne, right?
Yeah.
So one criticism that I did have, and I noticed it strongly on the last episode of AEW Dynamite, the fans that they allow into the arena, they're segregated in this section, but they're very close to each other. Like the group, like I know the ones that comes together, they're gonna be together. But the ones that's not together, that's sitting behind the ones that's not together, they're not far enough. Well, the seating of the place is way big enough to spread them even further away. So is that even a thought to potential? Like, there's just too much togetherness there, and if any wrestler or talent or personnel or somebody passes through that area, it feels like it's open Pandora's box. Because when I saw that clip and I saw all of those fans together, and I was like, that's like 40 people together.
Well,
we haven't seen.
Also, I gotta also preface that as well, because this is something that John Alba and Sean Rostap were responding to a lot of the comments and kind of getting frustrated with that. This has nothing to do with the fans. That's like, I understand. No. That's what I'm. Let me just say, it's nothing to do with the fans. This is a situation with the performers. This is nothing to do with the fans. What they're doing with the fans, they are following every single protocol, and they are following social distancing. All the fans are mandatory to wear masks. There's been multiple reports of fans being kicked out of shows because they weren't wearing masks properly. This has nothing to do with the fans. This is just about the performers. So I do want to, I'm all for showing criticism where criticism is due, but this has nothing to do with the fans. This is about the
No,
performers
no, no,
that
no, no,
got.
no, 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 no. I think you're missing. I think you're kind of misunderstanding what I'm saying when it comes to the
No,
fans.
I
I'm
fully
not. It's
understand
not
what
the
you're saying.
fans.
What you
It's
saying?
the
What
placement of them,
yeah,
not
I know.
not the
I
fans
get,
themselves.
you're talking about the placement of the fans, but we are talking about the performers contracting the virus. No fans have been reported of contracting the virus. We were trying to stick. I'm just trying to dictate this conversation to stick on what the performers can do, because I understand that it can be a criticism to multiple people, and it's been a criticism ever since they have invited the fans back. But there has been no instance of any fans testing positive for this virus. This is about the performers, the staff that have contracted the virus. So I understand that might be a criticism for you, but they have not. There has been no reports of the fans, so I don't want the conversation to steer to that.
That's fair.
So I'm just my question for you is, for you, JJ, how has like this whole pandemic affected your ability to enjoy wrestling with knowing what's going on in AEW and WWE?
I mean, it makes it difficult, but it's like, yeah, it's they're doing what they can to entertain us, and we've understood that since March. Like, even when they put on, when they was putting on the empty arena shows, and they were like the pioneers, honestly, when they were doing this, because at a time they were the only entertainment. They were on before UFC. They were on before NBA. They were on before MLB. They were on before the NBA. They were on while all of these places shut down. So
Yeah.
they were going to be the guinea pigs for the fuck ups. They were going to be the guinea pigs for the things that go wrong. So I give them major props to be the ones that is going through all of this, and they are going through every measure, whether it's a success, whether it's a failure, whether it's something that's not working, whether it's something that is working. I give them major props. So it's actually been, I've been able to it's not more of like enjoying it, it's actually making me appreciate the product more. It's appreciating the work that they're all putting in still, because we're not in attendance. We're not buying their merchandise. We're not there to pay for the meet and greets. We're not there to give them that residual income. They're still there to perform for the people. And it's they've had hits, they've had misses, they've had some great events, they've had some poor events. So it's basically another year of wrestling. So, and I don't think it's altered my entertainment value of it. It just obviously, with the world going to what it is, it kind of just makes you think of every scenario. It makes you think about everything. But as far as like my entertainment level, no, I think they have been, actually all companies have been putting on some of the most unique entertainment, and has been giving us some of the best forms of TV that they can possibly give us. So I give them major props to it. So I actually I give them credit to what they've been trying to do over the course of the pandemic.
Yeah, I definitely, and to touch on what you said prior to that, I would say that you definitely can show some criticism to the staff and the wrestlers that are around ringside in the crowd, because they are definitely, if you think the fans in that section or placement is wrong, they that them or those performers around the ring are a lot closer than even the fans.
On
But
that.
I think that's kind of, so I didn't want to drag it, but that's what I was just kind of, it kind of like, do those performers go ahead and take a couple minutes? Do they actually, is there some chance that they interact with any of
No,
that group over
no,
there?
no.
Like,
There's a
so
hub. There's a hub. That's why they're. That's why I wanted to steer away from talking about the fans and their placement up in the skybox, because that is where they actually have security and they're following the CDC protocols. No matter what we see on television, what we see on television is not really what the distance is between people. That's why I was like, let's not go into that. But the performers, and those are the people that have tested positive for this thing, and the performers around the ringside have not been having social distance, and a lot of them didn't wear masks for such a long time. So we could stick to focusing on that and show the criticism there. But the fans, we haven't heard anything about any
right.
fans testing positive, so I
No,
don't
but
want to talk about that and
I
steer
think,
the
but I
conversation in the
think
wrong
what you're
direction.
saying, though, I think what you are saying is good clarity for anybody that is watching this, that is not paying attention to all the other shows that is going on, because this is giving them a lot of the knowledge that they're probably not aware of. Because a lot of people could be thinking exactly what I'm thinking right now,
Yeah.
especially when you see it on Wednesday and you're like, what the hell? Like, why the hell are they all together like that?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that Jon Moxley makes an entrance through the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of just one of those things that it's like you probably didn't want to touch it, but you probably literally just answered a whole lot of questions that people probably had in the midst of what you just said.
Yeah. This is why we have these conversations right here on Tru Heel Heat. We gotta move on to our next topic. Speaking of WWE, NXT, and AEW, it is week 47 of the Wednesday Night War, some of you guys' favorite part of the Tru Heel Heat podcast, where we give you the ratings for each show. We talk about both shows and we let you know what we thought was the better show for the week. If you don't like our opinions, you can watch Wednesday Night Warriors with the good brother Romeo. We want to thank him for being on Tru Heel Heat 92 last week, and of course Chris G, where they give their opinion and break down both shows. Or even if you like, just like AEW Dynamite, you could check out AE Recap with Jimmy and Marcus Cash with their very, very unique takes. And Krssi Love, you want to hit the drums? So, for week 47 of the Wednesday Night War, WWE NXT finishes off with 696,000 viewers, to AEW Dynamite with 835,000 viewers. AEW Dynamite gets its 38th win in the Wednesday Night War to NXT's 8 with one tie. WWE NXT had Kyle O'Reilly defeat Cameron Grimes, Timothy Thatcher, Bronson Reed, and Kushida in the Gauntlet Eliminator to become the number one contender for the NXT Championship for NXT TakeOver 31. We had Candice LeRae win the Battle Royal to face Io Shirai at TakeOver 31, as well as Johnny Gargano attack Damian Priest, following Priest's win over Austin Theory to set up their North American title match at TakeOver 31. Roderick Strong and Danny Burch beat Fabian Aichner and Raul Mendoza to set up a number one contenders match between the UE and Burch and Lorian. That was one of the segments that was changed due to these changes that happened over the week with the coronavirus. And we also had a mystery vignette teasing a returning or debuting star at TakeOver 31 on October 4th. AEW Dynamite had Jon Moxley defeat Eddie Kingston in a good main event to defend the AEW World title. We also had Brody Lee beat Orange Cassidy to successfully defend the TNT Championship. After the match, a returning black hair dark Cody Rhodes returned. Huh?
I love it.
Returned to attack the Dark Order. We also had the in-ring debut of Miro as he teamed with Kip Sabian to defeat Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Isaiah Cassidy of Private Party challenged Chris Jericho. Jericho and MJF had the best segment on either show. I'm just going to say that right here, as they did another tease of a potential feud between two of the biggest personalities in professional wrestling. Hangman Page defeated Evil Uno with Omega on commentary, while Young Bucks show off their new attitude, breaking Tony Schiavone's phone. And FTR introduced the 20-minute brush with greatness and tease a match with best friends. So I will start with you, Justin. I don't know if you watch both shows or just watch one, but what do you think was the better show for the week?
As I stated, I'm gonna make sure Krssi and JJ know this. Every time I do a lockdown session, when I reach out to somebody, they're always like, "Hey, I'm free Wednesday night at 7 p.m." So it always throws me back into a loop. But I'm a huge proponent of the NXT. I always like that. You got Kyle O'Reilly, Candice LeRae. There's a lot of sometimes there's a little bit of nonsense going on in AEW, but it's that double-edged sword, because I just talked about AEW Dark and how many opportunities given everybody. So I want that battle to tighten up. I want that battle to tighten up because I want to see better stuff. And I want just one of them questions that I don't know if we have an answer to, but does the bullshit happening on Raw affect the average guy from watching NXT? If I'm a wrestling fan, I'm like, there's nothing else on, I'm watching Monday Night Raw, but I sure as hell, after watching Retribution, well, I'm tuning into AEW then. I think that they got to start thinking in that. It's all under the same umbrella. So I go with NXT. I like Kyle O'Reilly. Getting that Candice LeRae. I'm looking forward to her and Io Shirai. So I'm going to go NXT. Better show this week, even though I just told you I wasn't able to watch either one of them. So kind of a bullshit answer for me. Somebody call me out on my shit.
Call them out in the comments below for sure. Miss Krssi Love, what was the better show for you this week?
Okay, so see, here's so I had my picture on. However, I didn't really pay attention to NXT because I was also looking at the NBA Finals. So, I'm sorry, NXT. I can't really give you a good grade because I didn't really watch it because I was mostly watching AEW and the finals. And I was more so watching the finals. However, I did enjoy AEW. And I marked out when I seen Cody with dark hair, just like I have dark hair right now. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to AEW. I really enjoyed the Chris Jericho. I mean, that segment that he did was phenomenal. MJF, yet again, phenomenal. Like, they're not giving you... They're putting the little pieces together bit by bit by bit. They had some lackluster shows, and then they come up with better. They get better. They're like, how can we change what we did last week? So I'm gonna go with AEW.
Top guy JJ, what do you think? AEW or NXT this week?
It's about time that this finally felt to me way closer of a week than usual. Like when I say love the fact that Kyle O'Reilly is going to take over to fight Finn Balor. Like, I am hoping that they put on one of the matches of the year. Like, I love Kyle O'Reilly. Like, the fact that he's getting a push for this inning, like, that is giving me like favoritism points right there because I love. And then the substitute UE match, the tag match. Roderick Strong and was it Danny Burch?
Mm-hmm.
That to me, that match was just straight hard hitting. That was just a straight badass match. But the thing with NXT to me, I just felt like NXT just had a bunch of matches. Like NXT was a bunch of matches, and AEW had I thought AEW was a little rough. Like I thought AEW was a little rough. Especially the first hour. Like the first hour to me was like garbage. And then Matt Hardy kicked it off in the second hour. To me, it was like, oh, God, this is about to get a whole lot worse. And then Chris Jericho, the demo god, saved my night. Yeah. And then, so I would say for favoritism purposes, I'm going to give the slight edge to NXT this week, even though AEW might have had more meat to it because the Brody Lee promo was phenomenal. The Eddie Kingston Moxley match was really, really good. The Jericho and MJF back and forth promo was fucking phenomenal. But to me, AEW was more on promos this week, and NXT was bigger on matches. NXT had the matches, AEW had the show. So my favorite for that, I'm going to go NXT for that based on NXT having some bangers for matches.
Okay.
Yeah, this was, I have to agree with Top Guy JJ, this was a lot closer week than usual. I'd say the Gauntlet Eliminator with Kyle O'Reilly winning was the best match of the night for sure. But I'm going to give this week to AEW. I also agree the first hour of AEW was really rough. The tag team opener was not a good matchup. It was just very sloppy, and Miro did not look as great as he should have in his debut matchup. I did enjoy Hangman Page versus Evil Uno with Kenny Omega on commentary. Kenny Omega on commentary might be my favorite person on commentary. He had one of the best lines of the year. He said, Evil Uno, wears this protective clothes not only for his hideous physique, but because he gives him extra padding for blows. I mean, that was one of the best calls of the year. Kenny Omega's been awesome on commentary. unnecessary in my opinion. But it was really rough other than that one matchup, but they really turned things around with Cody's return. Brody Lee versus Orange Cassidy was a really good matchup, as well as the women's tag team matchup with Rosa and Sheeta beating Ivelisse and Diamante, and the main event delivered. That was like a mini G1 matchup, and it felt like just an appetizer of what's to come between Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, because I feel like we're going to get more of that down the line. So I really enjoyed that stuff. But the real reason I give it to AEW is because outside of the Gauntlet Eliminator on NXT, nothing much happened once again. That's always the theme with NXT. I agree the tag team matchup was fun. Roderick Strong always looks great in tag team matches when he comes in for the hot tag, but that battle royal to kick off the show was just as bad as Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss versus Miro and Kip Sabian. They had some women in there that should never be on TV. Casey Canizaro tried to save this match by playing the Kofi Kingston role, but other than her and other than Candice winning and setting up a good matchup with Io Shirai, that match was trash. That's just how I feel. And outside of the tag team match and the Gauntlet Eliminator, I probably will forget about this NXT episode by the next Tru Heel Heat. So that's why I give it to AEW.
Absolutely. And I just have a question about this. I just totally felt that Miro was so out of place. I just felt he was so out of place in that match. Like, I just felt like he was in the wrong match.
I disagree. I just feel that it was just a lot of off timing, and I feel like this was the right place for him, because in this match he looks like a main eventer, because in comparison to everybody else, he's the guy that's jacked. He looks in incredible shape, and you can't put him in there with Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho off the bat.
I got that.
You got to start him off slow, and I think the way they booked that match with Kip Sabian kind of trying to take the spotlight away from him sets up what I talked about, I think 2 weeks ago on Tru Heel Heat, that this is all leading to Miro tearing apart Kip Sabian on the wedding. This partnership is going to be short-lived, and they did tease that in this matchup. So I liked the placement. It was just the execution of the match was off.
Okay.
So yeah, we got to move on to the rest of our news. WWE news. We had Alexa Bliss comment on our Lord and Savior, UFC Hall of Famer, and the baddest bitch on the planet, Ronda Rousey, who has been training apparently to get back in the ring. Alexa Bliss on her new podcast Uncool commented on Rousey's time in WWE, and I quote, "Our whole roster is dependent on more than just one person, and I think that there wouldn't be an impact of Ronda Rousey if it wasn't for the woman opposite of her in the ring helping her get there. You know, a lot of bodies laid down for her success, and it just goes to show that all of our women can be main eventers, and all of our women can have that spotlight. Obviously, it was great having Ronda in WWE, but not much really. It's a group effort and a team effort." What's your thoughts on that, Miss Krssi Love?
I love everything she just said, because that's exactly how I feel.
But I have a question for you. How many all women's pay-per-views you've had since Rousey left, and how many women have main evented WrestleMania since she left?
Okay.
Or pay-per-view in general.
And did Ronda Rousey really need people to lay down for her success? I think she was successful before she came to WWE, correct? UFC Hall of Famer. That's a part of my introduction for her.
Yeah. I said she was very successful before she got there, and then they made it all about her, like she was the only woman that was on the damn roster. They shoved her down our throats, friend. Don't forget that.
I mean, they said the same thing about Roman, and now he's the only superstar that they have in WWE.
Okay,
so,
oh my God, whatever.
I'm just saying. We also, WWE news, WWE applies for counter trademarks against Cody for what?
Cover for people. This is
if it has to do with Ronda Rousey, I gotta go to you.
Have a whole nother episode of Tru Heel Heat with Krissi's feelings about Ronda Rousey. I'll tell you that.
You absolutely can. Oh, right underneath my fingernails, like that. He just likes to just get right underneath the skin.
And Becky Lynch can't even save her because she about to have a kid.
Absolutely.
I'm going back
Absolutely.
to this next year, if that.
You ain't seeing Becky Lynch until like WrestleMania 38.
Yep.
Wow, 38, friend? 38?
Yeah.
She gonna be
See,
a mom for a little while, boo boo. Like, damn, can
I
she be a mom
know!
for a little bit?
paternity leave. That's what they call it. WWE applies for counter for counter trademarks against Cody for Slamboree and the match beyond. Roman Reigns reveals that WWE paid him during the pandemic while he was at home. Speaking of Roman, in a recent interview, The Rock admits that he would be interested in facing Roman at WrestleMania if he returns and would love to raise his hand in victory. What's the old god for?
Oh God, come on! Like, all right, we don't need the Rock in wrestling anymore.
Whoa!
We don't need I dead ass. Like,
What?
it's literally to just come back for like a month to promote a match to put somebody like I'm sorry. I'm just not. He can make an
You know what,
appearance, and show some love and do, but to build a program around him again, I'm good.
bro? I was with you on that same page for WrestleMania 28. I was in Miami. I said before I joined Wrestling Travel when it was very difficult on my own to drop money for tickets, hotels, flights, and everything. Thank goodness for Wrestling Travel. Cheap plug. I'm going, hey, Cena, and if you get the Rock Cena Blu-ray where you get all the promos and stuff, it's worth it. But I was like, dude, Cena's got to work here on Monday morning. You know, The Rock's gonna. I go, I don't want him there. I don't need him. And I predicted that Cena was gonna win. I'm like, how could they put that over? But watch the McMahon DVD when he brings in all these guys to WrestleMania, because if I can get the spotlight from some other area of entertainment, Iron Mike Tyson, whoever, bring him in. I paid him $10 million. Vince, was it worth it? Yeah, it was, because now I got all these other eyes on them. I got national news media outlets. The Rock, being the megastar that he is going to bring all kinds of more eyes from Hollywood on it. So I know exactly where you're coming from, and part of me really wants to agree with you. But it's Tru Heel Heat. I'm giving you the heat and going, I think this would be great. But I do. But the wrestler in me goes, yeah, Roman Reigns has still got to be there on Monday morning.
That shit felt lukewarm. That shit ain't feel like no heat.
It just feels like that's the right thing with this story that's going on. Roman versus Rock should be the culmination of that at WrestleMania. And Rock says that he wants to raise Roman's hand. He says he won't do that bullshit like he did with John Cena of, he wins the first one and then you'll get your win back. Rock said he's not down for that. He actually said that verbatim in the interview. Stephanie McMahon sells her $2.2 million worth of her WWE stock in very interesting news there. Vince McMahon is looking to push Bianca Belair and Peyton Royce as of now, reported by Wrestling Observer Radio. Fightful Select reports that WWE is planning on bringing back Forgotten Sons, and Edge reportedly spoke to the group about how to handle themselves backstage after the recent controversy surrounding them and Jason Riker.
Hopefully Jackson Riker is not a part of that group anymore.
Well, he is, unfortunately. That's one of the people
How the
Edge
fuck
had to
is
talk
that
to.
even possible?
Hey, he has an opinion. He didn't kill anybody, apparently. Naomi has an unexpected surgery on Thursday to remove a massive fibroid. So our thoughts and prayers to her. WrestleVotes reported that Bobby Roode will be returning to television very soon. SmackDown drew 1.9 million viewers, which is down under 2 million for the first time since Roman's return. And Raw drew 1.6 million, down slightly, but on par with the previous week. So they've been pulling in pretty decent ratings against Monday Night Football. AEW news: AEW Late Night Dynamite drew 585,000 viewers for their 12:30 a.m. show on Tuesday night, and a
NXT ratings. Wow, that's crazy.
0.26 rating in 18 to 49 Keen demo, which was actually better than NXT Super Tuesday did on when they were unopposed.
That's sad.
It ranked number 9 in the cable 150 as well.
Dynamite came on at midnight.
Yes.
That's sad.
Very sad. Dave Meltzer, Uncle Drunk Dave Meltzer, as I like to call him, on Wrestling Observer Newsletter, rated the parking lot fight from AEW Dynamite last week with 5 stars. First match to be rated that since the pandemic, and first TV match since 2018. Krssi Love, you had a lot of praise for the parking lot fight. Was it the best match you've seen since the pandemic?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It deserves 5 stars. It was such a good match. And we're not talking like cinematic matches. We're talking about like a wrestling match, but it had a stipulation that was outside. Everything about that whole match was awesome. And then Mom came in the minivan, even made it even better. Like icing on the cake. It's like the cherry on top of the sundae.
Epic ending for sure. New Japan news, we had Kevin Kelly announce that the English commentary for each night of the G1 will be on tape delay, so it will be a couple of days before they have the English commentary for each show, while the final 3 nights will have live English commentary. Like Krssi Love, who's just joining the G1 bandwagon, watch it with Japanese commentary. Trust me, the English commentary is doing it on tape delay, so they're not doing it live. You won't get that live energy only on the Japanese commentary.
Not like they're like the voice. You know how you ever watch a movie and they got the voiceovers and it's in Spanish, but you got the English people and they're like so delayed and it's just like hard. Like it's okay, I'll take it, but I'm not gonna really enjoy it really because it's not the real thing. So that's what that feels like. So that proved that now that makes sense that the other commentators are live, they're there, and the other ones are just like reading it on a Zoom.
Pretty much. Impact Wrestling news, Tennille Dashwood signs officially with Impact. I know you're very happy to hear that, Top Guy JJ.
Yes. I finally get to watch an exclusive program to see my baby in. Yes, it's going to give me a reason to watch something on Tuesday nights. Thank goodness.
There you go. MLW have added more content to the Zone, including their pay-per-view from last year, Saturday Night Super Fight. MLW is about to kick off with the restart. I know you're looking forward to MLW for sure, Justin, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love MLW and what they're doing. We're really tight with Alicia Toot. Really looking forward to seeing her back there. I love the Von Erichs. I love Hammerstone. Filthy Tom Lawler, Contra. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the restart.
So much talent over there at MLW, so it's very much a good thing with them coming back with their restart. Speaking of MLW talent, Davey Boy Smith Jr. and AEW World Champion Jon Moxley have been confirmed for Bloodsport on October 11th. And our final bit of news, Fightful Select reports our good friend that we had on Tru Heel's BTR, Royce Isaacs, formerly of Strictly Business, has requested and was granted his release from NWA, joining Ziggy Dice and Ricky Starts among others. So we want to send our congrats and looking forward to the future for Royce Isaacs for sure. Hopefully we can get him back on here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel so we can talk about his future in professional wrestling. So preview and predictions time. We got a jam-packed week coming up. First off, Saturday, we got Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series Night 3. I'm going to run through a bit of the card, and I got to get Justin's thoughts because he's going to be there live. We're going to see the North versus Airwolf and Angel Dorado. You got the big one. This one has been a lot of build-up after Joey Janela was attacked by 2 masked men. The masked men revealed themselves to be none other than Robert Anthony and our good friend of Tru Heel Heat, Tru Heel's BTR alumni, Frank the Clown. In this going to be a no DQ match between Anthony and Janela. We got the return to independent wrestling of Mike Bennett as he versus ROH's own Cheeseburger. Kylie Ray versus Madison Rain in her final independent match. This one is going to be for the Warrior Wrestling Women's Championship. And then in the main event is going to be Brian Pillman Jr. versus Trey Miguel of the Rascals for the Warrior Wrestling Championship. Justin, what match are you most looking forward to this coming Saturday when you're going to be there live?
I'm looking forward to Robert Anthony and Joey Janela. Joey Janela, as I talked earlier on our podcast, has continued to impress me. I feel sorry for kind of sleeping on him and listening to all the other critics. He killed it with Warhorse the other week. The main event, Trey Miguel and Brian Pillman Jr., the most important title in independent wrestling right now is the Warrior Wrestling Championship. The North, my favorite tag team of all time. And the boys that go to Airwolf and those guys can bring it. That's going to be an exciting match. What I do, and Madison Rayne and Kylie Ray, I can't wait to see that. What I look forward to wrestling is just kind of Warrior Wrestling. What I talked about is these hidden matches. Now, who's going to take on Rhino? Rhino was scheduled to take on Lance Archer. We know that Alex Zane is supposed to take on Brian Cage. Do we get a Rhino-Brian Cage matchup? I'd be all up for that, but now I want to see some other matches. I want to maybe see them bring in some of the talent from Chicago, the area, so we can watch some of these next generation superstars. So I'm looking forward to. I know that Warrior Wrestling is not going to hold the show after this until probably late spring. So this is going to go out with a bang. If you cannot be there in Chicago, you must get this on Fight TV. It's going to be worth watching.
And like I talked about on Wrestling Travels podcast, the bundle is very affordable. Only I think $35, $25 if you're in the UK for 3 jam-packed shows. If you missed out on week 1 or week 2, you can get all 3 shows for a very affordable price. Instead of $15 for each show, just pay the bundle price and you get jam-packed wrestling from the last couple of weeks. But this is going to be the big finale. So shouts out to Steve Tortorello, the promoter of Warrior Wrestling, and everyone out there, because I know it's going to be a huge show for you to enjoy in Chicago. Justin, enjoy that ride up, of course, as well. And we got to do our rapid fire predictions for the G1 Climax 30. We got 4 shows coming up this week. The 20th.
God damn.
Yes, indeed. And I'm going to be up I'm going to be up at 5 a.m. I'm going to be up at 5 a.m. every day. You guys shouldn't be complaining as much as I should, even though Harlem Rain is my alarm clock because she wakes up at 5 a.m. anyway. September 27th, A block competition. They're in my favorite city in Japan, Kobe. You know it. Taishi will go one-on-one with Yujiro Takahashi. Taishi is 2-0 in the A block. Yujiro is 0-2. Who do you got in this one? We'll start with you, Krssi Love.
Say his name again?
You got Taishi versus Yujiro Takahashi.
Taishi.
Going with Taishi. Top guy, JJ?
I'll go with Takahashi.
And Justin?
Takahashi on that one.
I'm going to agree with Krssi Love. Taishi coming off a big win against Suzuki gets the win here to go 3-0. You got Jeff Cobb going one-on-one with Minoru Suzuki. This is going to be hard-hitting. Big boys doing hard-hitting shit. This one is going to be a barn burner. Who do you got in this one, top guy JJ?
For some reason, Jeff Cobb wins these matches for no reason. Like, Jeff Cobb is going to win this match for absolutely no reason because he's going to get nothing out of it.
This is a reason, because if he beats Minoru Suzuki, he will possibly get a never open weight title match against him after the fact. And he's a new signee to New Japan.
To be wrong about him getting victories for no reason, but it seems like he just gets victories for no reason.
Hey, he just came off a big win against Shingo. He is 1-1 in the A block, while Suzuki is also 1-1. Who do you got, Justin? This is Cobb versus Suzuki.
And I want to lean towards Cobb because he's my boy, but this is going to be a banger, as the kids say. But I'm still going to go Jeff Cobb.
Who do you got, Krssi Love, Cobb or Suzuki?
I got Cobb.
I'm going to make it unanimous and go with Cobb in this one to get a never open weight title match. This one is as I called it on our G1 preview, a CBE, Certified Banger Extreme. It is going to be Kota Ibushi, who is 1-1 in the A block, versus Tomohiro Ishii, who is 0-2. These are going to be another hard-hitting affair. I am going to predict Ishii to get the victory and his first win in the A block. Krssi Love?
Ishii for the win because he's 0-2 right now, so he got to win something.
Justin?
I'm going to go Ibushi because he's a recent follower of ours on Twitter. So he gets my vote.
Gotta support him. Top guy JJ?
Oh, I guess I'm going to go with Ibushi too, man. You know, I got to support the supporter, man. You know, I'm going to go with Ibushi here.
even up the odds. This one is another CBE as Will Ospreay, who is 2-0, goes one-on-one with Shingo Takagi, who is 0-2. This is a rematch of the Best of the Super Junior finals from last year, which was, my opinion, the 2019 match of the year. Who do you got in this one, Justin?
His name just escaped me, but not Osprey.
Shingo?
Shingo.
Shingo.
Yeah, excuse me.
Krssi Love?
Shingo.
Top Guy JJ?
I'm definitely going with Ospreay.
I am going to agree with Krssi Love and Justin. I'm going to go with Shingo to get his win back from losing last year. And finally, in the main event, this is a rematch from a match that me and Top Guy JJ was live for last year in Madison Square Garden. It is going to be Kazuchika Okada, who is 1-1, versus J1, as he likes to call it, Switchblade Jay White, who is 2-0. Who do you got in this one, Top Guy JJ?
Yeah, that's hard.
This one is tough. I gotta go with J1 on this one, man. He's something special, man. That kid is something special.
I think I'm going to agree with you and say Switchblade gets the victory here to go 3-0. Who do you got, Justin?
I gotta go Jay White as well.
Krssi Love?
Definitely gonna go with Mr. J White.
Jay White across the board. On the 29th, they are in Kurgan Hall for B Block competition.
Wait, hold on. Did that just happen?
What?
Did Kazuchika Okada just get mentioned in a match and no one picked him to win?
No one picked him to win.
That has to be the first time ever on Tru Heel Heat.
How many near falls in this match, though?
This one will have a lot of near falls towards the end. This one is going to be great. And J1 has Okada's number. Outside of that win in Madison Square Garden, that's the only time Okada has beat him in 3 matches. So this is their 4th match, and I think J1 wins again. September 29th, B Block is back in Kurgan Hall. Sanada, who is 0-2, will go one-on-one with Yoshihashi, who is also 0-2 in this one. Krssi Love.
Say the name again.
Sanada versus Yoshihashi.
Sanada.
Justin?
I gotta agree Sanada on that one.
Top Guy JJ.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Sonata on this one.
I agree with you guys. I'm going to go with Sanada. Kenta will go one-on-one with Zack Sabre Jr. Kenta is 1-1. Zack Sabre Jr. also 1-1. Who you got? Bullet Club versus Suzuki Gun. ZSJ versus Kenta. I am going to go with Kenta in this one. Justin?
Agreed, Kenta.
Top Guy JJ?
I'm not a fan of Kenta, so I'm just going to go Zack Sabre just because I'm not a fan of Kenta.
And Krssi Love.
Kenta's on Bullet Club. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
That's the one I'm going with. Kenta then.
We got
Kenta's on the Blank Club.
Hiroshi Tanahashi, who is now 0-2 after losing to Toru Yano on night 5. Yes, I said Toru Yano has defeated Tanahashi and Okada in the past month. We'll go one-on-one with Juice Robinson, who is 2-0 in the B block. So Juice versus Tanahashi. Who you got, Krssi Love?
Juice.
Who you got, JJ?
Hard. I don't know.
I can't pick Juice. I can't pick Juice.
So you're going with Tanahashi?
Yes.
Justin?
Agreeing with JJ. Tanahashi.
I'm going with Tanahashi as well. And the 2-0 King of Pro Wrestling himself, Toru Yano, will go one-on-one with the former IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champion of the Bullet Club, Evil. Who you got, Evil versus Yano, Justin?
Does Evil have Dick Togo in his corner for this?
Yes, it's Evil Dick. Can Toru Yano overcome Evil Dick?
Yeah, I'm going Evil.
Who you got, Krssi Love?
Evil.
And JJ?
I'm definitely going with the combo of Evil Dick, baby.
I'm going
Evil Dick in the climax, Krssi Love. I remember when last time I was on you.
Oh my God, Justin, you were in my head because I was just trying to say, see why I'm gonna think such nasty thoughts, because how you gonna put climax and then Evil and Dick in the same sentence?
Hey, it is what it is.
This is the cast of a porn right here, baby. Starring Evil Dick.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, I'm gonna agree with you guys. Say Evil Dick gets the win in this one. And in our main event, it is the 2-0 Tetsuya Naito going 1-on-1 with 1-1 Hiroki Goto. Who you got, Naito versus Goto? We'll start with you, JJ.
I'll go with Naito. I think this is pretty easy for Naito.
Krssi Love,
Naito.
Justin.
I'm gonna go Naito as well. Yeah.
Naito across the board, unanimous on this one. September 30th, A Block is back. This time in Kurgan Hall. You got Suzuki versus Yujiro. Who you got, JJ?
I'm not going against Suzuki.
Justin? Krssi Love?
I got Suzuki.
And I'm going to agree with you guys. Suzuki across the board. Ibushi versus Jeff Cobb. This one is going to be another CBE certified banger. Who you got? Krssi Love.
You said Jeff Cobbs and who else?
And Kota Ibushi.
Ooh. Cobbs.
Justin?
Man, I appreciate the follow, Ibushi, for Wrestling Travel, but I gotta go with my boy Jeff Cobb.
I am going to go with Ibushi on this one. And JJ?
I said this is why Cobb wins matches for no reason, because he's about to lose to Ibushi.
And we got next Okada versus Tanahashi. Who you got, JJ?
Ooh. Said Okada versus Tanahashi?
No, Taishi. I'm sorry.
Taishi. Oh, okay. So that's Okada. Okay, Okada will get that win. Okada will get that win.
I agree with you. I think Okada wins that one. Okada versus Taishi. Krssi Love.
I got Okada.
And Justin.
Yeah, I thought you said Tanahashi as well, but I'm going to go Okada.
I did. I fixed it.
He fixed it.
And next up, you got this one is another CBE in my opinion. Will Ospreay versus Jay White. This time, I'm gonna say Jay White does lose, and Will Ospreay gets the victory over Jay White. Me and Top Guy JJ will also.
What night is this on?
This is on September 30th.
Ooh, I gotta catch that one.
Who do you got, JJ?
Oh, that is tough. Fuck. I'm gonna go Will Ospreay, and to me, what will be an upset?
Yeah. Justin?
I'm gonna go Jay White.
Krssi Love? Ospreay and a couple.
I gotta set my calendar for that one. I can't miss that shit. I need to see that. It's gonna be a fucking woo.
And another CBE, in my opinion, the main event is going to be Shingo Takagi going 1-on-1 with Tomohiro Ishii. This one is going to be very good, and I'm going to go with Ishii in this one. Who you got, Krssi Love?
Ishii.
Justin?
I agree. Same.
And Top Guy JJ.
Clean sweep.
And then the final matchup before next week's Tru Heel Heat 94 is on October 1st. B Block in Nagohu. You got Juice versus Yano. Who do you got, JJ?
The Juice versus Yano?
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna go Yano.
This seems like a match for Yano to win, so I'm gonna go with Yano as well. Who do you got, Krssi Love?
Same, agreed. Yano.
Justin?
Clean sweep, Yano.
Goto versus ZSJ. We'll start with you, Justin.
Goto.
Krssi Love?
Say it again.
ZSJ versus Goto.
Oh, Zack Sabre.
JJ.
I guess I'm gonna go CSJ to get going a little bit of a roll.
I'm gonna go with Goto in this one. Tanahashi going 1-on-1 with Yoshihashi. Who you got, Krssi Love?
Oh my god, there's so many. You said Rona, right?
Huh?
Say the name again.
Tanahashi versus Yoshihashi.
Okay, Yoshihashi. That's the Yoshihashi.
Wow, you're just shitting on Tanahashi. I'm gonna go with Tanahashi. I'm gonna go with Tanahashi in this one. Who you got, Justin?
Tanahashi, please.
JJ?
Yeah, I'm definitely going Tanahashi.
This one is going to be interesting. Both of the top matches are stablemates going 1-on-1 as Bullet Club battles Evil versus Kenta. Who you got, JJ?
You gonna ask me if we need another Kenta match for Evil for sure? Evil Dick combo prevails again, baby.
I'm going with Kenta in this one. Who you got, Krssi Love?
Evil.
Evil
And,
what? Krssi, what?
I said evil for the climax.
and Justin?
I'll go Evil Dick, but I do like Kenta, but I'll go Evil Dick just to keep it unclean.
And the final matchup that we predict from the G130 for the week, this one will be very good. CBE certified banger extreme. Battle of LIJ in Sonata's hometown. Sonata versus Tetsuya Naito. Who you got, Krssi Love?
Yeah. Hometown wins.
Sonata?
Sonata.
I am going to agree with you and go with Sonata in this one. Who you got, Justin?
I'll go Sonata, please.
And
Damn, I thought I was gonna be on. The minority with this one. I'm gonna go with Sonata with the upset.
absolutely. And then final event for us to predict. We can go through this pretty fast. It's been a interesting build up to WWE Clash of Champions on Sunday. On the kickoff show, Raw Women's Championship, Asuka versus Selena Vega. I'm gonna go with Asuka in this one. Krssi Love.
Disrespectful that she's on a kickoff show. First of all, why are we still doing kickoff shows in a pandemic? First of all, however, Asuka's definitely going to win.
Top guy JJ.
It's way too much time, Oscar.
Yes, Justin. All right, the U.S. title match. Bobby Lashley of the Hurt Business goes one-on-one with Apollo Crews for the 87th time. I'm gonna go with Bobby Lashley. Who you got, JJ?
Yeah, I hope Lashley ends this bullshit already.
Krssi Love.
Bobby Lashley for the win.
Justin.
Lashley.
This one will be, in my opinion,
Matches
the only.
are so not exciting at all.
No, this one is exciting, and in my opinion, the only CBE for Clash of Champions for the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Who you got, Justin? Justin.
That's tough. Any one of them, but I'm gonna keep with Hardy.
JJ.
I am gonna go with the phenomenal one.
Krssi Love.
I was actually going to go with Sami Zayn.
Oh, so I will break the tie here, and I will agree with Mrs. SmackDown herself, and I will go with Sami Zayn.
I think that'll be tonight. I'm hoping.
Please don't waste more time than we need to. Raw Tag Team titles for the 100th time. Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Andrade. Who you got, Krssi Love?
I think Angel and Andrade are going to win.
I got the Street Profits. JJ?
Red Cups.
And Justin.
Street Profits.
SmackDown Tag Team titles, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Lucha House Party. Cesaro and Shinsuke for me.
Fuck?
Krssi Love.
Shinsuke and Cesaro.
JJ.
Oh, next match, please. Like,
Justin.
Your winners and new SmackDown Tag Champions, Lucha House Party.
I like that. You gave something different. That's cool.
It's going different. Women's Tag Team titles on the line. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus the Riot Squad. I'm gonna go with Shayna.
But they're on the main. They're on the main show. But Asuka's on the pre-show. Get the hell out!
Yes.
I'm going.
This is a class of shit.
I'm going with Shayna and Nia in this one. Who you got, Krssi?
Shayna and Nia. Yeah, but disrespectful. So
Justin.
Shayna.
And JJ.
Clearly, yeah, retain.
SmackDown Women's title for the 50 millionth time. Bayley versus Nikki Cross. I'm going with Bayley. JJ.
I am gonna obviously go with Bayley. Duh. I mean, like the
Justin.
This pay-per-view is garbage.
Yes.
Justin, I couldn't hear you.
They're gonna keep it on Bayley. It's gonna be Bayley.
Krssi Love.
With Bayley for the win.
And we got our final two matches. Universal title, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. Who you got? JJ.
Yeah, again, more predictable shit. Roman is going to retain clearly. And a pretty good match, though. This match is actually going to be better This might be one of the best matches of the night.
Yes.
Krssi Love.
Roman for the win. I definitely think they're going to perform their asses off.
Justin.
Yep, Roman, but I think it's going to tell a really good story.
I'm agree with you. Roman destroys Jey Uso. WWE Championship ambulance match. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, and I am going with Orton for his 14th title win. JJ.
Yeah. That poetic story that Randy Orton gave on Raw leads to him getting his 14th WWE Championship run.
Justin.
I'm going to go with Drew.
Krssi Love.
I'm going with Orton for the win.
Yes, and that is all for our predictions for Clash of Champions, G1, and Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series. You can check out all of that action over the week and the weekend. It's a jam-packed weekend for professional wrestling. We have our outro here for Tru Heel Heat 93. 3 editions of J News Japan are up on the YouTube channel right now for New Japan Strong episode 8, as well as night 1 and 2 of the G1 and night 3 and 4 of the G1 with our good brother News breaking everything down. All new True Rewind and the return of SmackDown with the Lynches is up on our YouTube channel. You can expect new episodes for that next week, and we will have our WWE Clash of Champions pay-per-view roundtable, which will be up next week as well. I want to thank Justin Clapper of Wrestling Travel for being on Tru Heel Heat 93. Good brother, thank you very much for your second appearance on our podcast.
Woo!
Hey, thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure. If I can do a little plug, we're going to have our podcast number 12 that is going to drop tomorrow, Friday, September 25th, with a very special guest from Tru Heel Heat, SP3. And I want to open the invitation for Top Guy JJ and Krssi. We do record Thursday mornings. I know that is tough, but if we can get you on, we'd love to have you on someday. I also cannot wait for Warrior Wrestling. This week, coming up on the lockdown session, it's kind of been Promoters Week. I'm going to feature John Bullard, the promoter from Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. They're running an event on October 3rd. Steve Saxon, the promoter of PWI UK, Pro Wrestling International UK, is going to make an appearance. And as always, from our friends at Powered 4 TV, we're going to have a great free bonus match. Please give us a follow on YouTube. I am at Clapper77 on Twitter. I could always use a few more followers and a little bit of love. And as always, at Wrestling Travel. We've got a huge announcement coming up on October 4th, I believe. If you can go to Wrestling Travel and sign up, you're going to get that announcement ahead of time. And I don't want to give anything away. It's well worth it if you're a wrestling fan who likes to go places. It's well worth it. You're going to get a big jump on everybody else for our big announcement. So thank you again, guys and girls.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. You are always a great guest to have on. JJ, Krssi Love, where can they find you online?
Just want to note that when I do meet you, Justin, I am going to give you like the biggest hug. You look like the biggest teddy bear ever. I'm going to give you the biggest hug when I finally meet you in person. But you can find me on IG and Twitter and on Facebook, _ Miss Krssi Love or Krssi Love _ and also Crystal Lynch. And
Thursday mornings, what time is this on Thursday mornings? I maybe have one Thursday morning left available.
11 a.m. It'd be 11 a.m. Eastern time. Today we did it at noon Eastern time. We can do some adjustments for you. As long as, you promise me a big bear hug when we meet too, JJ, or is that off the table?
You know what? Bear hugs are not off the table for me. I will give you a big bear hug, my friend. Bear hugs are not off the table. I got you on that. Bear hug it is. But on Instagram, you can find me at Tru Heel _ Top Guy JJ. At Facebook, I'm Justin Johnson, and I will be definitely down to do a guest appearance on a Wrestle Talk podcast. Absolutely. I love it.
Wrestling Travel.
Wrestling Travel. Sorry. Damn, I just got a little overzealous. I just couldn't hold my words back.
I kind of threw him off with the bear hug. I wasn't expecting.
He kind of. You know, I'm a friendly guy too. Sometimes I'll never give that son of a bitch a bear hug ever.
Nope. You shouldn't. You could follow the Tru Heels group page, Tru Heel Heat on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our good friends Wrestling Travel on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Of course, subscribe to their YouTube channel for Justin Clapper on Lockdown Sessions. Our independent promotions, Battle Club Pro, Warrior Wrestling. You can follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Good friends at Uncanny Attractions on Twitter and Instagram. You got YouTube channels to check out for Battle Club Pro as well, and Warrior Wrestling, and Alex McCarthy, our good brother at Talk Sports. Check him out on his YouTube channel. Of course, there's Jimmy Macaram, where I'm doing the Ozark season finale. Check that out. That's a good one that we just reviewed, as well as Umbrella Academy is ongoing. And of course, Miss Krssi Love needs a plug because her favorite YouTube channel is My Battery is Dying with Marcus Cash. Always love him. And you can listen to Tru Heel Heat on all your audio platforms. So until Tru Heel Heat 94 next week, for our very special guest, Justin Clapper of Wrestling Travel, for the beautiful, the lovely princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love, it is the resident Tru Heel alcoholic back with us once again, Top Guy JJ. And of course, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. Like this video, share it with all your wrestling fans to get up to date on all your wrestling news. And until next time, we are signing off. Peace out and justice for Breonna Taylor.
Say her name.